Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm taking a look at the Longines Heritage Military. So this is a watch that was made to be designed around kind of a World War I era military timepiece, and it is part of Longines Heritage Collection, hence Heritage Military. And so this watch is really made to be like an exact recreation of the original models, which is what Longines has really been trying to do with their Heritage Collection. So right away, I'm going to go over the case. So the case is a 38.5 millimeter stainless steel case. You can see very slim profile, which makes it great for everyday wear. And you can see that it has this cool bubble case back, which kind of, again, harkens back to the old watches where they tended to have more bubble case backs, which is quite interesting. And so now let's go right onto the dial, though. So the dial on this watch is definitely the most interesting thing about it. So first you have these beautiful blued hands, which I find to look very nice, and they're definitely of the period. The design of them is definitely of the period, as you can tell. And then you have painted Arabic numerals going around to make it extremely legible, as this is supposed to be a military watch. Now, one thing you might notice are the speckles on the dial. So no, that is not mold. So Longines actually tried to recreate the mold that will grow on some older watches as they age by actually speckling paint on the dial. And I mean, I can tell you it looks very accurate. It does not look like paint. They definitely have the result that they were going for. It really does look like kind of a patina dial with some mold on it. So now, I'm not 100% sure really though why Longines did this. Personally, I think this kind of takes the faux patina thing a bit over the top, especially because mold on a dial is generally considered to be worse. You generally want as clean of a dial as possible while keeping it original. So I'm not exactly sure why they would recreate the mold on the dial, but it definitely gives this watch a unique look when compared to other heritage watches. I wouldn't say that I'm a huge fan of it, but I'm sure there are some people that will think that the interesting kind of thing that Longines did with this dial would be good for them. So now let's actually put this watch on the wrist. So on the wrist, this watch is going to be very well sized at 38.5 millimeters, and that is a more heritage size. I mean, there's definitely smaller. The originals would have definitely been smaller than this, but a 38.5 millimeters is not too big at all. I have about a 7¼ inch wrist, so take this for reference. And I think that this will really be able to fit everyone's wrist size. The 38.5 millimeter size is very good, especially for a heritage model, which will tend to be a bit smaller. I think that it will be able to really fit everyone, and the nice slim profile means you can definitely wear this with a cuffed shirt, as it will just be able to slide right over this watch. So this watch comes in at a new price of $2,150, which when you take into the fact that this also has, it's basically an in-house movement. It's an ETA movement made solely for Longines, and Longines and ETA are both part of Swatch Group. So it really is an in-house movement, and that movement has 65 hours of power reserve. It's a great movement. When you take it into that account, I think that this watch definitely does offer some good value. I mean, the finishing is great for this price point. When you're comparing it to like Oris and some of the other watches around here, it definitely does have the value. Again, with that movement, it's a fantastic movement in this timepiece. It's finished very well as well, which you don't generally see for watches at this price point. And I think that if this is as long as you like the design, this definitely is not a mispriced watch. I personally prefer like the Skin Diver, which I know is $2,600. It's a bit more expensive, but I really like that watch a lot. But again, I have no problem with this watch, really. I'm not a huge fan of that patina, as I said. But again, I think that this watch does offer some good value for the money. So I'd like to mention this watch was lent to us by JB Hudson Jewelers for the purpose of this review. I'll be leaving a link in the description to their website if you want to inquire about this watch or any of the other watches in their collection. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.